Hi everyone and welcome to my DMC4 Special Edition Legendary Dark Knight walkthrough. This is mission 3. It has Virgil. I'm playing as Virgil and it's on Legendary Dark Knight, which I already explained but I will do so again. This is only an increased amount of enemies on screen. And is on Son of Sparta difficulty. So here's the first part, and I'm just saving up the focus meter, as you can notice. I don't really need more red oros, but I'm going to try to show you some places that are right in our path for gathering orbs. I'm not gonna be out of my way to show you the secrets and stuff. So this room is a chaotic room, but watch as easy as it can become with this. There. That's it. That's what I saved the focus meter before. You can have you could just have one enemy and walk around him, and you will be able to raise the focus meter, and if you have some devil trigger you will do that move. Now I don't have any devil trigger now, and I would not advise this, but bring devil trigger to the fight that's coming up with the frosts, because it killed me so fucking many times. I can't even begin to describe it. The first impact of Legendary Dark Knight difficulty is gonna come in this next fight, and you have to use the camera to pacify the Ass Knight. You have to, because if you don't, you can't really face them and fight them all at the same time, because you're gonna get destroyed, as you're gonna see right here. See, they're all going to shoot that to you if you try to face them, as I'm trying to do that now. And this is not like an Arkham game, Arkham Knight or something like that, where only 2 or 3 enemies are going to fight you at the same time. They are all going to attack you at the same time if they feel like it. So it's very important that you use the camera to pacify them, and that you manage your devil trigger in this fight. So you're gonna see me a lot of me trying to launch them as far as I can, but notice that they don't really flinch that much as they did in other difficulties. You can really have them in the air that much, and if they are preparing an attack or something like that, they have armor on them, so you can't even launch them in the air. So this fight is really difficult. You should approach it like this. Just attack them a couple of times, launch them, and hit them with the Beowulf, with the Lunar, if you want to go for a combo, and then immediately disengage, and always keep the camera facing onto you, and use these pillars for health. The pillars are not gonna give you much health. They're just gonna give you like 2 or 3. Not even that, I think 2 or 3 squares. So don't depend on it, but know that all these pillars that I'm breaking now, you see, it didn't really give me even 2 squares. So just for a little health, depend on it. If you get frozen like it happened to me there, you can use the devil trigger to cancel, but I would not recommend it. I will recommend using the devil trigger intelligently and not for canceling attacks, unless you're in the middle of all the enemies or something like that, and you really need to cancel. So I'm going to start doing the Lunar now. Attack. This is probably one of the first really difficult fights you're going to be in at Legendary Dark Knight, and it's only because this enemy is so fucking annoying. I mean, I don't really like it. As enemies goes, I think this is the more annoying. I will name it. They're really annoying, and it's only because you can't really throw them up. They're constructed around, like most of the enemies, they are constructed around, even the knights, they are constructed around Nero and his buster grab. So when you're playing as Virtual and you don't have the buster, and even as you play with Dante, you notice that the game was really built for Nero. So it's not really the same to fight these enemies with Virtual as it is fighting them with Nero. As the bosses, because you can grab the bosses and fling them around in various fun ways, but you can't with Virtual, sadly. So yeah, as you're going to be noticing in this video, I think, yeah, this is the first video in which I use a continue. I'm not going to be bothered as much as for scores, like the ranks and continues. This type of walkthrough is not bragging rights. It's not look at me, how well I play. Not at all. This kind of walkthrough is really meant to entertain, hopefully, or to guide you through the game, or both things at the same time. Not really for ranking, not really for no continues, but what I'm going to do, what I'm really going to do is no items, and that I'm going to maintain it throughout all the walkthrough. It's only it's the only limitation that I usually do with these games. I'm not saying it's bad to use items. It's of course part of the game. So if you want to use to survive, you should. It's just a personal thing of mine. I mean, I know I can go through the game without using items, so I'm just going to try that. And it's more fun because it's to watch, at least, in my opinion. So we are introduced to the dogs in this part. This is not really a long level. The next one is really long. Of course, in Legendary Dark Knight, every level is kind of long. So I think I'm going to get a little lost now, but I'll find my way soon enough. So you might notice that my health bar is not actually full. This is because I didn't unlock every blue orb that is in the game. I missed a couple. I think I missed like 2 or 3. Not really a problem for me, because I think this health is enough to go through this difficulty and Dante must die. But yeah, something that I wanted to discuss also about all the curious decisions that went on in this special edition is the DLC for unlocking all the difficulties, and they sell you health bar and they sell you orbs for the trigger, death trigger, devil trigger, sorry, death trigger. What the fuck am I talking about? So I think it's a terrible and stupid decision. I have no fucking idea what they were thinking. I mean, it's an 8-year or 10 years old game, and they sell you the way to unlock difficulties. I mean, allow me to give that sentiment a pause, because this room is fucking insane. Just watch how many fucking blades. Not blades. How was their name? Gladius. just watch how many gladiuses I'm fighting. And there are also scarecrows, but who the fuck cares about the scarecrows? The technique for fighting a room like this, besides wrecking everything with the legend cut end, that's the name of that special attack that Virtue has. Besides that, it's just fire your blades and because you can't really lock onto a single target or prioritize targets in this hellish room. So just fire blades and use the circle or B or whatever you're using to fly towards the blades and hit them in there. You're probably gonna do better if you do the lunar phase, the roll, but I'm doing fine like this. So basically fly all over the place. I almost never got hit, amazingly, and that's the room. So really hard, but not as hard as it looked like. Virtually it's really kind of overpowered, by the way. So this room is fucking one of the worst decisions, original decisions the dudes made this. I just hate when they give you an action platformer in action hack and slash, and they decide to give you platforms over punishment, because if you fall down there again, you're gonna have another room full of enemies. Luckily I didn't. The way that go through the room is just tap the circle or B button and just tap it. Don't really press it like a maniac, and don't do it like slowly either. Just tap tap tap. That's a P that you use to not fall down. So let's see. Can I continue my talk, my rant on the DLC? Oh, this part. No, let's talk about this part. Now this part is where I use my continue because I died once. This is insane. These are like 30 or more frost. I wasn't counting, but this is insanity. Just spam the summoning blades as much as you can, and use Devil Trigger. Use whatever you have on Devil Trigger. Just use it and spam the roll of the lunar phase. I know that talking about spamming in this game is, if you are a veteran of Devil May Cry, you're gonna say, wow, spamming useful techniques, what a dipshit, right? Well, I'm sorry guys, but this is not really meant for veterans. I'm sure veterans can get through most of the game just fine. This is mostly to people who just want to get through the game and want to see the best techniques for fighting. Just notice that I'm jumping all the time. If you need help because Virgil doesn't have a double jump, if you need another jump, just press the circle without targeting. It's gonna jump upwards. Just build your focus, do these attacks that I'm doing, spam that's exactly what you have to do. Spam the lunar phase, and just it's a useful technique. It's a really useful technique, not against only enemies, but bosses as well. And it's just, for me at least, my mind works backwards with these kind of games. I know this game is kind of constructed as it is DMC and all the other Devil May Cry's. It's kind of constructed not around survivability and not so much around you being able to endure a combat stage or whatever, but on skill. I know that's why there is a rank system. I know that's why they didn't update the checkpoints, because if you fail, you'll likely want to do the entire level again if you're going for ranks and stuff like that. But my mind just doesn't work like that. My mind is not set up on a Devil May Cry ranking system. It's made of endure, survive, push forward. And if I have to, I'm not gonna use glitches. I'm not gonna use cheats, of course, and I can't use cheats. I wouldn't but I can't because I'm on the PC version. But I just know that my mind is on survival mode always when I'm on difficult games. How can I find a way to survive? And I know that if I find a way, then this way is going to work for anyone who wants to do the same. So that's my train of thought. So if you're just a veteran or master of this game who just breaks everything with combos and stuff like that, just if you want to insult me, that's just fine. But I wanted to explain that my train of thought is just the opposite. Not opposite to skill, because obviously you have some skill to go through this, but I'm not a veteran of this game. I played it on PC before, but I'm not nowhere near a masterful no damage run or something like that. I might try it sometime, but that's not what I have in mind now. I just want to have fun with this mode. As I mentioned before, this is the first time I tried this mode, so I'm having a lots of fun. And I'm just surviving, just going through the game, surviving, and finding the best ways to defeat the rooms and defeat bosses and show them to you. That's exactly what I'm doing. So again, this room is it looks like a horror room and it looks really funny, but it's actually like the one before. Just spam the blades, get on the air, and just attack the gladiuses. And for the frost knights, rolling the lunar phase on them really stuns them pretty well, so I will use that. I get hit a lot in this whatsoever, so I'll continue with the DLC. I think I have time to talk about it and never talk about it again, because I know this is a really good game. I love the core gameplay of this game. I always have, and I know this is really a tough game. It's a lot harder than DMC. Even on Gods Must Die, the new difficulty that they released. I mean, Gods Must Die is really difficult, but nowhere near Dante Must Die of DMC4 and DMC3 most of all. But releasing this game 8 to 10 years older, with almost no changes, and then releasing a DLC for unlocking all difficulties and charging you for it, it's just an awful business. It's awful, because the way you have to unlock all your health bar is not even that hard or that difficult, but you would have shown less contempt for your better audience, that might be the only audience that bought this game, to have it for free, and you choosing it, because either though you choose to have it or to have the DLC or don't by buying it, even if it were for free, you have to get good at this game to go through it. So yeah, I just think it's an awful thing. So there you go, won't continue, no item usage. Thank you for watching, guys, and take care.